Hello. Well, this is quite a different video, as promised, because we hit 100 subscribers. I'm doing a box review. So this is going to be... I was going to do a box review and talk about my overall strategy for the game, but I decided to split this into two videos because I think the strategy can it deserves its own video. I also would like to give an example, a concrete example for that. So look forward to another video, I guess. But let's get down to business and see what I have. This is being recorded, as you can probably hear from the music, during the second week of the Latios and the Soldiu event. We're still running, and my box is almost full. Fun fact, for a very long time, I vehemently refused to expand the box because, let's get real, a lot of these Pokemon don't really see any use. So it is a waste. But eventually I decided to expand because we keep getting more Pokemon, and some Pokemon, even if they don't get used now, they might see some use later. And regarding shinies, I have transferred a couple of shinies, but only if I had more than one already. Anyway, it's a sore spot. I'm sure most of the players don't feel comfortable transferring shinies. Not everyone. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look. And we are actually starting with one of the MVPs in my box. My precious Venusaur, ABC Venusaur. This was, believe it or not, the first Bulbasaur I ever caught. I don't remember if I ever bothered catching more. I think maybe one or two. But I started playing on the 16th of October 2024. 2 days after, I got this beauty. Now, obviously I didn't know a lot about the game and its strategy. I was trying to read about it and how to play, and one of the first things that you get exposed to when you try to learn the game is the mono strategy. But I kind of quickly realized that it wasn't really for me. It didn't feel right for me to do this. The thought that I would have to land both the mono list and good sub skills and nature seemed too frustrating to me. And you know what? Hey, Bulbasaur is my favorite Pokemon, by the way. And this looked awesome. An amazing nature, amazing sub skills, and it only keeps getting better and better. And I know that a lot of people don't use mixed lists, especially not ABC lists, but let me tell you, ABC Venusaur is probably one of those Pokemon. Now, everything is within... Let me rephrase. It always depends on the nature and sub skills, obviously. But if you have a good set, then ABC Venusaur is actually fantastic, especially if you land it as a new player, because as you level up, obviously you start off with pretty low dishes, so in the beginning it produces a lot of honey, which is great. A lot of low-level dishes use honey, and honey is also something that you get every once in a while from the daily rewards card, and if you have a Go++, you also get some honey from your Sleepachew. So honey is a pretty solid ingredient overall, which makes Venusaur a pretty good honey farmer until you hit level 30, when you start getting tomatoes. But even then, again, with those sub-skills, even then, it produces enough honey and enough tomatoes to cover for a lot of options. And once you hit level 60 with it, yes, it can no longer be very reliable for honey, at least for the big dishes. But potatoes and tomatoes have great synergy, and the honey on the side can still serve you for some dishes. So this guy is getting a lot of mileage from me. As you can see, it has already 4,282 sleep hours. It might be the one I have been sleeping the most with. At some point, I do believe that another Pokemon will overtake that. We'll get to that Pokemon later. But yeah, that is my pride and joy, my Venusaur. And let's move on. Funny enough, in the opposite order, as you can see here, I have a full family of shiny... Like, I have a shiny family of the Charmander line. But the first one I caught is actually this Charizard. I got it as a Charmander. Actually, I got it... Again, this is an early catch. It's also an ABC. And it's... For a shiny, it's pretty damn good. Look at this. The nature is a bit challenging, which is why it's not at level 60 yet. But also because it doesn't see much use as I would have liked, because unlike Venusaur, Charizard doesn't really get to utilize its ingredients as well. I really hope that at some point we would get to see more dishes, more recipes that require herbs and ginger, because then this girl will really shine, literally and figuratively. But hey, double speed, ingredient finder M, and later on inventory, fantastic. And it's a speedy Pokemon to begin with. And you know what? With energy recovery up, it stays longer in a way. It doesn't drop off as easily. But that was also the first shiny I ever caught. In fact, I caught this as a Charmander on the same day as this shiny Rattata, which, unlike the Charmander, this one is complete trash. The nature is good, but it has nothing else. So that is unfortunate, but catching two shinies on the same day is amazing. So, yeah. ABC Venusaur, ABC Charizard. Then later on, I got this. This is stupid. This is just, again, I'm not using monos, but this is an insane catch. Look at this. Mono Sausage, terrific sub-skills. This is a case where even if it doesn't have a beneficial nature, the sub-skills are so good, it doesn't matter. And I have other examples. I have another example that I'm actually using that I could show you. But yeah, I got this one. Relatively... Oh no, I guess... Wow, it's been that long? Okay. Roughly a year later, now that I realize, now that I look at it. Yeah, roughly a year later, the second shiny Charmander. And then, the most recent catch was shiny Charmeleon, which this is less than a month ago. Pretty crazy. This one it has the same relaxed nature as Charizard. It's okay-ish. It's not as good as the Charizard, though. The ingredient finder is late, and it has the same ingredient list. Anyway, it's just really cool to see all three. Squirtle, the Squirtler family, I was hunting for a good Squirtle for quite a long time because I really wanted something for milk and cacao. I ended up landing on 3 interesting options. This one is obviously for cacao. It's interesting. It has some good stats. Speed is great. Helping bonus and ingredient finder and more speed at the end. The berry finding guess is it could be detrimental if you don't have good stats. This one is honestly pretty good. But as you can see, I'm not using it. I never used it. And that's because I have someone else to cover for cacao, which is way more cool in my opinion. Then I caught this mono. Again, I'm not using mono, but this is another fantastic catch. Despite the nature, which is mostly negative. Still, it's a mono, so with monos, you could settle for less. But again, it's just not for me to run monos on ingredient specialists. Then I caught this guy. This one I invested in. It's an ABC. You'll see that trend with me. Because at that time, I was missing a sausage farmer. So between that and the cacao, I figured Blastoise could do a great job. And again, pretty great stats. The nature is expensive, but it's beneficial, and with a little bit of investment in terms of inventory and ingredient finder, it could do a great job. I stopped investing in it at some point because I realized I probably have better options, and I can't justify investing in this one because there isn't enough synergy between the ingredients, which is something that in the beginning of my goal was to really have coverage for every ingredient, good coverage. But I was again not going for the mono. I was actually looking more towards not necessarily ABC, yeah? But AAB, AAC, stuff like that. Things that could produce enough ingredients for 2. At some point I changed that strategy. Now my strategy is different. Now I'm aiming more towards ingredient lists that would be more versatile in terms of how useful they would be under different circumstances. I will get more into that over the other video about my strategy. But anyway, yeah. Shiny Metapod, nothing to write home about. Let's start with this Raichu. So this is the first... I've been struggling with berry specialists. I'm still struggling with them. This is, for me, this is the most difficult hunt. And the fact that I'm trying to cover every typing makes it very, very difficult. But this is the first one that had the combo. And it has XP up, which is fun. Sadly though, this is all it has. That's the bare minimum. But still, it served me. It's actually being used this week because I rolled electric berries. So it does the job. But then after that, I caught this Pikachu, which also has the combo. And it has skill up and skill trigger later. It might not be a lot, but because of its skill, it's gonna be slightly stronger than the Raichu. Not worth the reinvestment though. This is just a shiny Pikachu. It's not particularly great. Sandshrew, I'm going to skip Sandshrew. There's nothing really to say here. Okay. This is fun. As you can see, I have a bunch of Psyduck and Golduck. Fun fact, the reason why my channel is called Psyduck of All Trades is because the first 4 Psyduck were all great. I don't remember which Psyduck was the first one I caught. It's not the shiny. The shiny is the latest one. Let's see, December 3rd, October. Okay, this has to be the first one. So, hey, this is, for a first catch, this is great. Speedy nature, skill trigger, skill level up. This is great. Then I got this one. Again, speed, skill trigger, nature with main skill chance. And yeah, like these two are great. But then I got this. No, sorry, no. No, I got this one. Another great nature, more skill trigger, more helping speed. So I said, you know what, the game really handed me Psyduck. I think it was meant to be. And then I started investing in this one. I was actually debating. There's actually a video, an old video on Velociraptor's channel when he used to give advice or review Pokemon that people would send him. And I sent him my 3 Psyduck because I didn't know which one to invest in. And I decided to go with this one. And as you can see, it is mostly invested. It's missing one main skill. But before I could finish, I got this one. And this is my pride and joy. Look at her. Helping bonus, which is huge. I think that's the first helping bonus Pokemon I caught. And nature, the stats are amazing. I hope and I do believe that we will get more levels for the main skill, which will make the level 75 sub-skill useful. And what can I say? She's been the best generalist I had so far, and she's amazing. I've been using her so much. You can clearly see by the amount of hours I spent with her. And that's with XP gains now. Worth it. Totally worth it. And then shiny Psyduck, as if I needed another reason. It's insane. Okay, it's insane. If it had a skill up nature, it would have been strictly stronger than my Golduck. But it doesn't. It's still strong. If I decided to evolve it, I think it would produce more raw strength. But I'm not going to do that. First of all, I like the shiny Psyduck way more than the shiny Golduck. And also, I don't want to invest in another one. So it's going to stay blue and pretty. And I plan to do something with it for my channel. Yeah, it's just really cool. What else? I think I don't want to go over everything because it would take too long. Let's just go over the highlights. Okay, Gengar. Another ABC. She is another one with helping bonus. Terrific nature. Terrific stats despite the fact that she has Ingredient Finder S at level 100. Because of her nature and the helping bonus and helping speed M, she's been actually very reliable. I do fear that overall, with the things I'm trying to hunt for now, she would probably not see as much gameplay, but she's great. Gengar is a great Pokemon. An awesome Pokemon. So if you need one of its lists, it could be a great mushroom farmer, and obviously a herb farmer. Maybe even herbs and oil. Although you could also go for Dratini for that same task. More expensive, but produces more. This is just for fun. This Onix. I'm not usually going for the 16-pip Pokemon, but this one landed with Berry Finding S and some helping speed at level 50. It's not enough for me to invest in. I think my bar now is, at the very least, Berry Finding S, helping bonus, and one speed stat. But for now, I'm holding on to it. Oh, this Chansey. Okay. So one of the things I'm looking for is Chansey, Happiny, Chansey, whatever. Specifically, an ABA Chansey. But I got this ABC. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't really have any use for it. But I'm showing you this because this is insane, again. And this is a recent catch. This is from this month. Roughly a week ago. And it's crazy. I think if they ever allow us to reroll ingredients on a Pokemon, I think I would go for it, because I'm actually considering two options for a Chansey / Blissey investment. Either the ABA list or AAC. So eggs and potatoes or eggs and honey. Eggs and honey have a lot of utility in desserts, which is why I am really interested in that. The potato egg is for a salad. But yeah, this is just, I think it's really frustrating when you have something really good, but you don't really have a justifiable reason to invest in. And I have a couple of examples for that. I'm not gonna go over all the EVs. Suffice to say, it was very difficult for me to decide what to do with them, because each of them have something special about them. Even this shiny one is not bad, but there are a lot of... Okay, this one is going to be a Jolteon at some point. has so much speed. I don't even care about the nature. It's great to level it up, and then at some point I could mint it if I really want to. But it's not a priority now. But yeah, I'm just gonna skim over. I just don't know what to do with them because Eevee is... There's only so much you can do with it. And I already evolved the ones I needed for some tasks. I caught a shiny Jolteon as well. But it's not as good as the one I intend to make into a Jolteon. It's still pretty good, but not good enough. I'm not gonna go into the Dratini. Okay, maybe I'll just show you. Dratini is my current hunt, and if I cannot find the Dratini I'm looking for at the end of this week, I'm going to cry, because I don't think I can spend another week on Lapis Lakeside. And this is probably the best chance I will ever have in a very long time to see and catch the Dratini line because of the boost to the dragon types. I'm looking for an ABC Dratini, but during that hunt, this was before the hunt, but I'll just show you the great assortment of Dratini I have here. If I ever need the herbs oil combo, this is an insane mono that I got. This, I'm seriously considering investing in this one after I find the ABC one I want, to be mostly a berry specialist, a pseudo berry specialist, because of everything it has. This one I will probably send away. Yeah, then I got this one. Insane. A lot of people would love this. This specific list is great for corn keema curry. And yeah, what can I say? It's fantastic. And then I have this Dragonair. This is currently the best candidate I have for investment for the ABC list. It just has too much skill-focused sub-skills, which I don't want. I don't need the skill on Dragonite. So I'm looking for something slightly better. Okay, I'm not gonna go into the Dragonite, it was just a fun catch. I never invested in any of my mythicals, so nothing to bother with that. Wooper is a sore spot. I'm looking for something and I didn't find it yet. Sceptile. This is one of the best catches I had. It's, again, flawless sub-skills. I don't even care that the nature is neutral. It does so much. It is such a strong Pokemon, Sceptile, and it's amazing. And because I waited enough, and because people have been sending a lot of candy, I was able to level this one up all the way to 60 without a single candy boost. Just straight up, I had enough candies and enough Dream Shards to get it straight to level 60. And it's terrific. I'm still on the hunt for Torchic and Mudkip. I have a good Mudkip, but if you remember what I said about the bare minimum, this is it. So I'm not willing to settle. Give me some speed and I'll be happy. Mawile is interesting, but I'm not gonna go into it. Aggron. Okay. AAB, I believe. That's a fantastic catch. It doesn't see any use currently, but with that sub-skill list and ingredients and nature, I'm really looking forward to when she hits level 60, because there are, I think, at least 2 recipes that use both sausages and coffee. And again, it's fantastic. And this is she's covering the sausages for me if I ever need it. Okay, the twins, the bros. I'm gonna change their names, by the way. Actually, you know what? Let's do it now. So, I was lucky enough, not with the shiny, to catch these 2 fantastic, now Swalot, Gulpin back then. Again, insane stats. I have this one, and then I caught this one. Both are fully invested. Now, during off weeks, this is what I'm running. I'm trying to run both. And they have been... It's phenomenal. If you don't have a Dream Shard Farmer, try to go and grab a Gulpin. It's a hefty investment, but it's so much worth it. Just make sure that you invest in a good one, obviously. But yeah, let's give them the... I don't like the names, Moneybags and Lord Bullblacks. It's cute, but they don't roll off the tongue. And I've been referring to them as bros enough times that I think they deserve better names. And I think nothing is better than I hope you see where I'm going with this. Swario and Swaluigi. Because they're bros. Hey, it makes me laugh. I don't care. But yeah, they are fantastic. Trapinch is another thing that I'm hunting for. I have something I could invest in. This is the list I'm looking for. But again, it's just... I just want a little bit more. I don't want those 2 skill triggers. I need just a little bit more. I could settle. It's just... I don't have enough candies yet anyway, so it's worth keep chasing. The Sphill is interesting. I've never used it. I'm actually not really... I don't like using a skill specialist for Tasty Chance S. I would much rather use a Swampert that has it, or something like Grandpa. But I caught 2 good Sphill during the holiday. This one has Brave Finding S and a Good Nature. And I also got this shiny, which, despite the nature, she is pretty great. I think if I ever decide... I'm saying she, the girl. If I ever decide to use one, there is a really good case for using this one over this. Because in the grand scheme of things, she doesn't proc much less than the other one. But again, I don't know. And she has helping bonus. Again, I'm not gonna use it. It's not my style. Salamence, a great... I'm lucky enough to... I've been lucky enough to find one that has the golden combo and some speed, which is why I said it's good enough. Plus, it's a pseudo-legendary, and I really needed a dragon type to invest in for Amber Canyon, because I don't have any berry No, not berry. Any bug types or poison types that could give me strength. So this one is fantastic. And it will be amazing at level 75. I'm running it now, as you can see, because it barely has any energy. But that's for another time. Latias, just for fun. I have 2 great Latias that I caught during her event. This is the one I am going to invest in if I manage to catch a good Latios, because I don't think Latias on her own is justifiable. At least not one without Berry Finding S. But what can I say? Fantastic nature, fantastic sub-skills. And she's cost effective. The other one is very similar, but between the two, this one has too much ingredient focus, and they're even competing with the nature. And she doesn't have a high ingredient trait to justify that. So it's just a waste. And overall, this one is just, in my opinion, is better to invest in. The Latios hunt is still on the go. A bunch of Happini, they're good, I'm not gonna go into that. Funny enough, I caught this Mono Spiritomb. I think it came hungry and just mega hit. I don't think it's good enough to invest in. The nature is nice, but it's also expensive. And it doesn't have enough... I mean, the good stuff comes pretty late. And again, it's a mono. So, not for me. Now, my star is actually not doing really well this event, but I believe in her. My another pride and joy, my Cresselia. She was the last one I caught, the last instance I ever used on the last day of the event, and I managed to nab this one. Again, level 75 would make her even better, but she's already great, despite her not being as strong of a healer as a full energy for everyone like Guard of War. Most of the time, she's good enough. And with helping bonus, a healer with helping bonus is a huge asset. And also, Cresselia has an insane ingredient rate. So, she's been, funny enough, she's been producing tons of cacao. So in a way, she's also my cacao farmer now. Which is why again, if you remember the Blastoise, that's why I didn't really need to invest in it. I don't really think I could ever replace her with another legendary. If I'm being honest, I haven't seen a better legendary yet. Oh, which reminds me, let's go back for a moment. Speaking of legendaries, I did catch a Raikou. I didn't play during the first event because I joined later. But when we had the rerun last year, I focused on Raikou, and I caught this guy. I did level it up to level 50, but I did not invest in its skill, because at this point, I don't see a reason. But it's fantastic, and I don't really need to put any... No, well, for the speed, I could invest in the speed. But, yeah. So, I'm glad I have this one. If I ever need it. Okay. We don't talk about Muna. I'm still hunting for a good enough Muna. The combo, etc, etc. Sylveon was my first healer, and I'm realizing now I skipped another one. I love Sylveon, so I was really happy when I caught a good EV that I could turn into a Sylveon. Unfortunately, once I caught Cresselia, it didn't make sense to keep running this guy. So it is retired, but it still has a place in my heart. And if I ever need to run a different team that cannot use Cresselia, I got him covering me. Fully invested, level 51, and it would keep getting better and better. I forgot about another evolution that I invested in, and I'm running my Espeon. Now this Espeon is the GOAT because it's not just great. I actually invested in this one prior to the Cresselia event because it was helpful during her event and because it had the skill level up M, which was... It basically made my life easy. But great sub skills, and it is a mono milk. So this guy does two jobs. It's my milk producer, and it generates it generates strength as a generalist, and it works in tandem with Cresselia. Could I ask for more? So another reason why I don't really need to invest in a Blastoise. Both of them cover for milk and cacao for most cases. Okay, let's go back down. Gorgeist. A nice catch. I just evolved it. We had an event that had some extra ingredients. I don't remember what it was for, but I really wanted to make the new Pumpkaboo stew back then. And this is the ingredient list I was looking for. It's good enough that at level 60, it will produce enough pumpkins for the Pumpkaboo stew and eventually enough pumpkins for the other dish that takes even more pumpkins. I don't remember the name. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't really have usage for beans alongside pumpkins, but if we ever get something like that, this will become an investment. Grubbin... no, there's no point going over that one. Okay, so, Cutiefly. There are a bunch of good Pokemon from Gen 7 here. Okay, so this one, you may know, this is an unexpected catch. It was right before I reached Friendship level 10. And this is exactly the ingredient list I was hoping to get during its debut. And look at that. It won't produce enough honey for the waffles, but under the right circumstances, mainly good with a good camp ticket and 2 helping bonuses on the team, it produces enough. Plus, again, honey, we get honey sometimes. Anyway, it's amazing. I'm so happy because with this guy, which can we just acknowledge the fact that Cutiefly and Ribombee are so stinking cute? Anyway, I could, once I find my ABC Dragonite, I could, with a good camp ticket, make the waffles with just this Cutiefly as Ribombee at level 60, Dragonite at level 60, and Cresselia for cacao, which is pretty phenomenal if you ask me. yeah, so I'm really excited. This is I've been dumping candies into it to make sure it has enough, because it has XP down. These two are monos. I don't really have a good reason to hold on to them. This one is shiny, which is fun. And this is a pretty good Ribombee I caught during the event. I just don't really have a need for that ingredient list. But as you can see, it's good. Okay. Another great case of good stats, good ingredient list, and a neutral nature. This Beware has been my main, honestly, not just main. Currently, it's my only source of corn and eggs. And it's been doing a great job at both, despite the fact that, again, like my Gengar, it doesn't even have ingredient finder yet. Level 75, it would be amazing. It would be even more amazing at level 100. It's doing the job. So that's what I'm trying to say is, don't necessarily be afraid, even if it's an ingredient specialist. If it can meet the call for what you need, and it keeps getting better later, it might be worth the investment. Especially with how difficult it is to find the right ingredient list. Okay, Comfey. This one I caught today. And this is insane. A shiny Comfey. Perfect sub skills. The nature, frankly, is also not bad, despite ingredient finding down, because it's a 16th Pokemon, it's difficult to raise. I could always mint it if I want to. The issue I have with it is currently the only recipe that takes both ginger and cacao is the steadfast something cookies. The cookies that look like Riolu. And it's not a very strong dish. So if this one had corn, and ginger, that would have been perfect, because I could make the corn scones with this one and I think Cresselia. No, wait. I don't remember. Anyway, I was looking for corn, and ginger. But still, my hope is that we'll get something better that could utilize this ingredient list. Mimikyu, my one and done. Look at that. This is one of the most fun Pokemon to run. Its skill is... When it gets a crit on its skill, it is just... It's one of the best dopamine shots you could ever get. It's so fun, it's so cool. Every time it procs, it's like, oh, is it gonna be it? Is it gonna be it? And what can I say? It's great. Drampa, I just want to show you another example. ABC Drampa. Funny enough, it might have a use. I'll talk about it on a different occasion, but again, perfect sub skills, neutral nature. Can I do something with it? I don't know, but I really like its skill. So, who knows? This is mostly it. These guys are decent at best. They don't really have a purpose at the moment. Yeah, I think this is pretty much it. I'm hunting a lot of things, but I'll talk more about that over the next video. as I go over my strategy. So I hope that was interesting. And I wanted to name the other MVPs on my box, but I don't have good names. I don't. If you have any ideas, if you have any suggestions for one of the stars that I showed you, feel free to drop a name. If I like it, I might adopt it. But other than that, thank you for joining me on this weird journey. And I hope that by the time you watch this, or by the time the event ends, you got a fantastic Latios. Have a good one.